Morning guys, hope you're all well. Now today you join me in a very chilly North London where I'm going to be doing a pub crawl featuring some of London's most haunted pubs. And the reason I decided to do this was loads of you have been getting in touch to say how much you enjoyed my pub tour videos and bar tour videos in central London. And so I thought this might be kind of interesting, although I'm not really looking forward to it if I'm absolutely honest, because I wouldn't say I believe in ghosts. In fact, I don't believe in ghosts. It's nonsense. However, the thought of seeing one genuinely terrifies me, so I kind of hope we don't see one in some ways, although it would make good content. But anyway, we're going to do this pub crawl. Hopefully we won't see any ghosts, but if we do, well, I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. And we're kicking it off here at the Spaniards Inn, just opposite Hampstead Heath, which is a very, very posh part of North London. It's if you don't know Hampstead Heath, by the way, it's a very sort of nice sort of outdoor space, sort of greenery, fields, trees, very, very beautiful. Definitely worth a visit if you go to London. And by the way, if you do go to Hampstead Heath though, little bit of advice, do not, for the love of God, go there after dark, because some very unsavoury things happen in there, believe me. In fact, that's where got caught with his down another man's. But anyway, that's a video for another day. Back to the Spaniards Arms. So this pub was built in 1585 and apparently hosts the ghost of Dick Turpin, who was a very famous highwayman in the 1500s. And it sounds a bit weird to me because I did some research and he was actually executed in Yorkshire, which is a good, I don't know, about 6 hours drive in a car from here. But anyway, apparently somehow he made it here to North London. So we've got Dick Turpin. We've also got a ghost called, rather pleasingly, another Dick, Black Dick. Now, I can say with some degree of certainty, I don't think I've ever featured Black Dick on this show before. In fact, I'm not sure, not entirely sure what YouTube's guidelines are on Black Dick in their videos. But anyway, we're going to find out. So we've got Dick Turpin, Black Dick. We also have a ghost of Black Dick's horse as well, who is called Black Bess, and she apparently haunts the car park over there. So we're going to be going in there. I mean, look, this is not primarily a ghost hunting channel, as you all know. This is a drinks channel. However, the ghost is just kind of ghost stuff is kind of a little side story, you know. So ultimately, we're going to be having a look at the pubs themselves, drinks they serve, and well, just generally just sort of hanging around and making videos. And yeah, maybe we'll see a ghost, maybe we won't. So I say we stop fanning around and bloody well get in there. Pub number one, let's do it. So here we go, the Spaniards Arms. Now this pub didn't look particularly inviting from the outside, but from the inside, what a lovely atmosphere. It was warm, it was welcoming, a lovely hot fire going there. I didn't look at the food menu, but it smelled absolutely amazing. Excellent selection of beers here, as you can see. I went for a lovely little London Pride, one of my favourite beers, a nice bitter. There we go, there's me drinking it just to prove it. And as I say, it was just a genuinely really sort of nice vibe to the pub. There's a nice sort of lonely table, which I sat up to drink my beer. Quick check in the car park for Black Bess. No sign of her, but all in all, an excellent pub. So that's pub number one done, the Spaniards Arms. Very nice little pub, definitely worth a visit. Even if you don't see Black Dick or Dick Turpin or any kind of Dick, it's a very nice pub. I recommend it, and an excellent one for my number one to kick off my haunted pub crawl. Right, on to the next one. So pub number two, here we are in Highgate now, also a very nice area of London, and this one's called the Flask. Now this one is apparently haunted by a Spanish barmaid who hanged herself in the cellar over a lost love, and apparently sometimes the lights will swing unexplainedly, and people have been known to feel a cold breath on their neck. So I'm going to get in there, see if I can feel a cold breath on my neck, but primarily a cold beer down my neck. Let's get in there. So here we go into the Flask. As you can see, a very posh looking pub here. This is very upmarket. Highgate is a very desirable area of London. This is going to be a very desirable pub, I'm sure, and I was not wrong. It's a lot smaller than the last one, but what a lovely atmosphere. As you can see, lots of little nooks and crannies here. A nice little pint of London Pride there, and they also have a very nice gin selection, as we can see there, some of my favourites. Now this is really cool. This is a bullet hole, which is apparently made by Dick Turpin. Again, he got around a lot in North London, did old Dick Turpin. But I like to hang around in these sort of little sort of cavity bit. That's a no exit, in case you wondered what a no exit looked like. But there I am, drinking a beer, alone again, looking slightly scared. But I really like this place. Let's see if there's a ghost in the toilets. Nope, no ghost in the toilets, but this is what I really wanted to show you. They've got kind of a sort of an outside, inside place here. It's like a living room outside with a little fireplace and everything. There's just so much thought of going to this pub. I really love it. So there we go, pub number 2. Really, really nice place. I thought it looked nice when I first saw it on the list, but I'm really surprised about, how sort of quaint and kind of homely. Didn't see any ghosts again, but it's very interesting to learn a bit about Dick Turpin's bullet. I didn't feel any breath on my neck, but I did feel a very nice sense of being welcomed to a wonderful pub, and this is definitely one you should check out if you're ever in London. Number 2 on my list of haunted pubs. Right, on to number 3. So then, next up we've come to the East End of London, to a pub called the Bow Bells. Now, if you don't know about East London, this is where all the Cockneys live. In fact, if you ain't born within the sound of the Bow Bells, you cannot be called a Cockney. Now, when I say the Bow Bells, I don't mean the pub, I mean the bloody church. All right, son? Anyway, I'll drop the Cockney accent for a minute, because this pub is particularly haunted. In fact, it's haunted by a bit of a pervy ghost, because this ghost hangs around the ladies' toilet and phantomly flushed. Phantomly flushed? There's a phantom flusher phantomly flushing the ladies' toilets, which doesn't sound particularly scary, but I'm not a lady and I'm not in the toilets when it happens, so who knows? And also, in 1974, they held a seance in here, and apparently a poltergeist slammed the door and smashed a load of glasses. So yeah, I think we're kind of upping the scary scale here. But anyway, it looks a nice pub. I don't know if we're going to see any poltergeists. I kind of, I'm feeling a bit brave now. I kind of hope we do. So I say we bloody well get in there, get a drink, see if we can get, I don't know, some footage of the phantom flusher. I don't know if, that guy wants to be in my video. Although on closer inspection, looks more like he wants to do me some physical harm, so I better get in that pub pretty damn quick. I mean, to be honest, it might be quite difficult as it is in the ladies' toilets, but you never know, I might be able to come to some deal. That's the problem with filming in East London, you never know when you might get beaten up. Anyway, into the Bow Bells we go, and I've been really looking forward to this one, because this pub is unapologetically rough around the edges, a proper old drinking hole. I've got a nice, another kind of bitter on the go there, can't remember which one, but it's got a, an unpretentious range of drinks and beers there, and I love how even the tables have been worn smooth of varnish over years worth of rough forearms. So I've actually been very kindly granted permission by the barmaid to go into the ladies' toilets where apparently the ghost is, so I'm going to go in. So I hope I'm not going to get in trouble for this, but here we go. So apparently the ghost will randomly flush the toilets. There's the toilet, in case you wonder what a toilet looked like. So ghost, if you're looking to do some flushing, now's the time. Okay, no sign of any flushing. That's a bit disappointing. I was hoping that we might get some sort of ghost activity. I thought this was probably the best bet, but sadly, I've disappointed you again. So there we go, that was the Bow Bells. I was kind of hoping that was going to be the one where a ghost might put a bit of an appearance, but sadly not. But all, ghost or otherwise, that's a really proper, nice, old British boozer, and there are not many of these ones left. So if you're in London, make sure you get down here to try and support it, because, as I say, they are dwindling on the vine, and we need to support our British pubs. Right, on to the next one. So here we are in Commercial Road now, opposite Spitalfields Market over there. Very nice if you ever visit here, excellent market in there. And this pub is called the 10 Bells. Now, this is actually haunted by a ghost called Annie Chapman. I don't know who Annie was, but she I don't know, she worked in there or something. And she was murdered in 1888 and apparently haunts the bedrooms upstairs. She drifts around wailing and doing, I don't know, ghosty kind of things. And apparently staff have reported seeing shadows crawling into beds, which sounds, again, pretty scary to be honest, but luckily I am incredibly brave and don't know the meaning of fear, so I'm going to get in there, have a bloody good drink and see if we can meet Annie. So here we go, the 10 Bells, briefly renamed to the Jack the Ripper in 1977 on a landlord looking to cash in on the whole Jack the Ripper thing. However, it seemed to have the opposite effect because they soon changed it back in 1988 to the 10 Bells. Excellent selection of gins there, some of my favourites. As you can see, it's a kind of a classic central bar situation here with an amazing array of real ales and beers there. It's a proper kind of lunchtime sort of drink place, very popular with the local people who work in the area. Let's have a look, see if there's a ghost down here in the toilet. Nope, nothing again I'm afraid, but the pub itself is a truly special place and I really enjoyed my time here. So there we go, that was the 10 Bells, and again, a really kind of nice proper old English boozer, not none of this namby-pamby gastropub nonsense. And apparently Jack the Ripper used to hang out around here as well, so you would think there was potential for a lot of ghosts. Sadly, again, we've drawn a blank on the haunted side. However, it was an excellent pub and I recommend it thoroughly. So, on to the next one. So you join me now in a quiet little alley called Cloth Fair. So much so I feel like I have to whisper, I don't know why, it feels a bit kind of weird, like I'm being judged. But anyway, this is the Rising Sun. Now this pub is dating back to the 1800s again, and apparently body snatchers used to spike people's drinks in this pub, wait till they keel over and then sell them to Bart's Hospital. Don't know why Bart's Hospital are buying their bodies for, I don't know, they probably just like them. But anyway, people have reported feeling an icy hand on them as they shower in here, and the landlady often reports footsteps stepping around upstairs when there's no one upstairs, which is classic ghost behaviour, isn't it, really? Anyway, whatever. I think it's a very nice little pub, very sweet, classic kind of London-y kind of pub. It might be one of those ones that's deceptive. It looks kind of small from the outside, might be kind of like TARDIS-like on the inside. Either way, I'm really looking forward. I think this is going to be a good one. So, my friends, let's get in there. So here we go, the Rising Sun, and I tell you what, this is the kind of pub that makes me so grateful and so proud and appreciative to live in London, because I cannot begin to tell you how warm and welcoming and cosy this pub feels. It was truly lovely. I could have sat there all day long. I mean, it's difficult to imagine any scary ghosts being here, to be honest. However, the barman did tell me that up here in the lounge bar, he has heard some strange noises like sort of banging and footsteps and things. So I went up to investigate. As you can see, lovely sort of private function room up here. But I did a little monologue here about how, I can't find any ghosts anymore. To be honest, it was kind of boring, so I didn't include it. Well, I didn't include the audio, but I did include the video here. So if you feel like you've missed out on something, feel free to, imagine what I may have said. So there we go, the Rising Sun. Now that has been my favourite so far. That's like something straight out of a Dickensian novel. That's what London pubs should be. When you think of a London pub, this is kind of it. So that was absolutely awesome. Again, shame we didn't see a ghost, but I'm kind of, I just genuinely enjoyed that experience. And this is the kind of thing that I like to bring to you guys, because I know a lot of you aren't actually, in London or even in the UK. So this is the kind of stuff. This is why I love London, these kind of tucked away little pubs. So that was an absolute hidden gem. Definitely go there if you come to London. Right, on to the next pub. So guys, here we are at the final pub of my haunted pub crawl. This one, my friends, is going to be, I've literally saved the best one for last, because this, the Viaduct Tavern, not only is it one of the most haunted pubs in London, it's also a gin palace, and this is obviously a gin channel. I feel like I've been neglecting the gin a little bit so far, so this is shaping up to be really good. Now the story behind this one is it's actually based just opposite the Old Bailey, which is over there. That is one of the oldest courts in the, well, I guess the world really. It's 118 years old, and this pub is built upon the prison. It was called Debtors' Prison. So that's where they used to send the people. When they would send them down, the judge would send them down. I don't know, do judges even say that? I think they do, don't they? Send him down. Yeah, we'll go with it. So when the judges said send him down, they would come over here into this prison. And, it basically, well, I don't know, for some reason they decided to build a pub on top of it. And ghosts of the ex-prisoners apparently haunt this pub. And they've even been known to lock staff in the cellar and chuck stuff about. So my friends, I am really excited for this final pub of the pub crawl. So I say, we fanny around no longer. Let's bloody well get in there. So this is it, guys, the final pub, and what a pub to finish on. A gin palace, my friends, and my official new favourite place. Look at this portrait. It's even got a bullet hole in it from some guys who got carried away years ago. Excellent selection of beers, even more amazing selection of gins there. Massive block of ice there to go in my nice gin infusion, which was orange, lavender and rosemary, served with Tanqueray, and it was epic. One of the nicest things I've ever drunk. There's Shrey trying to get in on the action there, the cheeky git. A few more drinks there. And they've even got an original gin booth here where they used to keep all the gin tokens. And if that wasn't enough, Shrey then took me downstairs for a tour of the cells. Now, as you can see, mostly down here now, it's not really as scary as it used to be because it's now a working cellar, obviously, as you can see from all the beer kegs stacked up here. However, my friends, go past the kegs and we have an actual real life cell. And this is as it was in the 1800s. This is where they used to keep the guys that were condemned to death before they were taken out and hanged in the street. And that hole goes all the way up to the street, and that's where they would drop their last meal down for them to eat. And they've even got a hangman's noose here. Seems a bit low though, not sure how effective it would be. See, here we are in the actual cells beneath the pub now, okay? So this is where the guys that were convicted in the Old Bailey, they have been sent down here. I showed you that hole a minute ago, that's where they dropped the last food down there. And these cells here, I know it's really, really dark, but they're literally just enough for a man to fit in. He can't lie down. So this is, you know, if we don't see a ghost now, we're never going to see a ghost. This is our best chance yet, but I haven't seen one so far. Again, slightly relieved at that. But thank you for my man. Sorry, man, what was your name again?
Shrey.
Shrey, he's been an excellent host, and this has definitely been the best one. I told you I was saving the best one for last. So guys, there we go, my haunted pub crawl of London. I hope you've enjoyed this. We didn't see any ghosts, which is a little bit sad. However, we saw some amazing pubs. And this is, like I said earlier, why I love London. It's got so many hidden little gems like this, not least its pubs. And I think, you know, we did the haunted one today, but I think I'm going to try and think of a few more pub crawls around London with various different themes. But let me know, obviously, as always, let me know what you think in the comments in the section below. And if you've got any ideas, you let me know, and old Freeman here will make them happen. And if I had to pick a favourite today, it's going to be really tough because we've covered a real broad range of types of pubs, from kind of, you know, old classic boozers to kind of, you know, sort of a little bit posher, to the kind of, you know, really sort of classic British pub, quintessential British pub, and of course the Gin Palace here. But I think probably, well, obviously, I mean, this Gin Palace has got to be my favourite. It was by far and away definitely the best of all of them. But a close second was the Rising Sun down the road as well. That was absolutely lovely. That's what, you know, I like to think that tourists come to London for. So, but you know, but as I say, all of them are brilliant in their own way. So if you want to come to London, I thoroughly recommend just, you know, make a note of these pubs and copy the pub crawl, because it's just been so much fun today, and I'd love for you guys to experience it too. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video, if you found it amusing, entertaining, enlightening, educational, any of these things, don't forget to let me know by subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, clicking the like button on the video, or if you haven't already, then head over to my Patreon page if you want to support the channel, or if you don't want to do that, you can click on the join button below this video to become a YouTube member. But until next time, guys, you all know the drill. Take care, stay safe. Thank you to all my patrons and members, and of course, keep drinking the gin.